there, this is Laura from Laura's Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to upload and work with an image in Cricut Design Space. The first step is that you need to open Cricut Design Space. Then you're going to click on File and New. Once your new project mat has opened up, click on the Upload Images tab on the left-hand side. As you can see, you can use just about any type of image you want, a JPEG, a PNG, an SVG. Just make sure before you upload your image that it's one of these file types. You cannot upload a PDF, and I know that a lot of the free printables you can find online are PDFs. This just won't work with Cricut Design Space, so you have to have one of these types of files. So go ahead and click on Upload Image, and then click on Browse. This will open up the files on your computer. Navigate to where your file is stored, find the image, and click Open. So let's say I want to use this rainbow image I have on my computer that I downloaded from Pixel Scrapper. Then I click on it and click Open, and it will upload the image to work with in Cricut Design Space. This image is a JPEG, so it has the white background. You can see it here. I just want this circle with the rainbow inside. I don't want this white background. So I have to choose what type of image I have to be able to clean it up in the next step. If I choose simple image, most of the image does not look correct, and the moderately complex image does not work very well either. So we're going to choose complex image and then click continue. This saves my image looking like it did on the computer. So we're going to click continue. And now we're going to choose the select and erase tool to delete the white background. You can see the gray and white checks mean that the background is now transparent. I can also do this if I wanted to change things about the rainbow, which of course at this point I don't want to do that. You can also choose to crop your image. If you have maybe something else in the background that you don't want, you can crop it. And you can also use the eraser tool. You slide this back and forth and it gives you a big area, and that erases just whatever you're clicking on instead of selecting kind of the color that's inside of each element. So once you have your image looking exactly like you want it to, then you're going to click continue. But for just a second, I want to talk about copyright. Please make sure that you're not violating any type of copyright regulations when you're making projects. In general, most images are okay to use for personal use, but however, sometimes that's not the case. If you have a question about whether you're allowed to use an image, please just contact the owner of the image. And especially if you're using the image for commercial use, like in an Etsy shop or you're selling a product, be sure you have the proper licensing to be able to do that. So since I'm going to show you how to create the Shopkins tag, I'm going to click back. I found the Lollipop image on the Shopkins website, but for their copyright rules, you can only use them for personal use. So today I'm just going to show you how to recreate the tags using a different Lollipop image. So I'm going to click Browse and then find this Lollipop on my computer and then click Open. Since this Lollipop image is a PNG, it already has a transparent background, and so there's not going to be as much to do to clean up the image. So also keep that in mind when you're finding images to use or creating images yourself. I will sometimes create shapes or word art or things like that in Photoshop, and you want to make sure you're saving them as a PNG because it makes it so much easier to use them in Cricut Design Space. You don't have to do as much work to clean up your image. So again, if I choose simple image or moderately complex image, it just really changes it and it doesn't look right. So we're going to choose complex image and then click continue. But as you can see, there's nothing I need to do. I could maybe crop it a little, but it's fine. It's not that big. So we're going to click continue. And now you need to decide if you're going to save the image for a print and cut or as just as a cut image. You can see if you save it for cutting, it will only save the outline of the image. It's not going to save any of the details or the colors. For this image, I want to be able to see the entire lollipop, not just the outline. So I'm going to make sure that Save as Print and Cut is checked, and then you can click Save. This is the time where you want to add tags if you need them. So for this one, I'm going to type in Lollipop, Rainbow, and and circle. So this will make it easier to find this image later down the road if I want to use it again in a different project. So then you're going to click Save, and this will save your image into your image folder on Cricut Design Space itself. So then to be able to use the image, we're going to click on it. It shows that it's uploaded. If you click on the info, you can see what the file name was. I didn't change that. And this is also the place where you can delete an image if you don't want to use it anymore. So you can do that here as well. So now it's checked. You can see it down here, and we're going to click Insert Image. And this will bring up the Lollipop image into Cricut Design Space. So for the tags I used for the actual lollipops, I wanted a heart around them with a little hole in the corner so I could punch it and then put them, use a little string and attach them to the lollipops. So we're going to go into Insert Images, and then in the search bar I'm going to type in the word heart. And then I'm just going to scroll down until I can find the heart that I want. Now this Doodle Charms heart works perfect because it has the little hole in the corner, so I don't have to do any fancy design work on this one. So I'm going to make this, for just a minute, I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to bring the lollipop to the front so that it will be on top of the heart. And I'm going to kind of just size everything so it looks how I want it. I want this heart to be green instead of red, but I want it kind of a lime green color, so I'm just going to choose that color here. I want this part to be true white, not off-white. And so now this is basically what the little heart tag looked like with, instead of this lollipop, it had a little Shopkins lollipop. So now to be able to print and cut this image, right now what would happen, if I clicked go, it would print and cut the lollipop, but it would, so this would be a print and cut. The heart would be cut out of green cardstock, and then the white heart would be, the inside part would be cut out of white cardstock. But we don't want that. We want the whole image to be one solid image. So I'm going to click Select All, and that will highlight all of these elements in this sticker, and I'm going to click Flatten. And now, obviously, a 5-inch tag is going to be way too huge for these mini swirl lollipops I used. So I'm going to click Edit, and let's say I want to make it 1.5 inches wide, which is a little more reasonable, and then that automatically changes the height to 1.42 inches. So now that we have our image created, we're going to click Go. And now you can see it's just one solid image instead of having the lollipop being a print and cut and the other two being just cut out. So now you can choose whether you want a bleed or not. Basically what the bleed means is that it creates a border around the edge of what's being cut out. So it gives you a little wiggle room in case your image doesn't cut out exactly right. Normally I leave this on unless I'm doing something like stickers where I don't want that edge around, but for a project like this I would just leave it on. It just makes sure that you don't have any problems cutting out your image. So let's say I want to create 8 gift tags. So I'm going to click 8 and then Apply, and this will add 8 of the same project to this one mat. This is a very easy way to do this so you don't have to go back and actually copy and paste on the mat itself. So now we're going to click Go, and it will find your Cricut. And mine is the new Cricut Explore Air 2, so it has the built-in Bluetooth and it's already turned on. And then once you have it like this, you're going to click Print Page, and this will send the project to your printer. So you want to make sure it's in color and all of that. So right now, I don't need it to be two-sided. I want it to be color so you can actually see all the pretty colors. And then I am going to click Print. So once I click Print, I've already got white cardstock loaded into my printer. So now it's going to print out the page with the scan marks on the corners of the page, and this helps the Cricut to make sure everything's lined up perfectly when you get ready to go do it on your mat. So you'll see it's all printed out. It printed it out. It looks a little sloppy just because it has the bleed on it. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. So it's got that, and it's got the registration mark so that it can make sure that it prints it on the right spot. Now you can see I've got my paper loaded onto one of the light grip mats. That seems to work a little better for me for print and cut. I have the Smart Set dial set to cardstock, and it's ready to go. So I am going to click the little Cricut button. And what it's doing now is it's going to start reading those little black lines to see where they're at, so it knows exactly where to cut on the cardstock. You'll see that the top of my Cricut is down. I found that in this room with the lighting that I have, this tends to work the best for my Cricut to be able to read the registration mark. And now that you can see that the little load mat light is flashing, you can click unload and your mat will unload with your images cut out. And then when you're all done, you can click finish. Now if you want to save your project, you'll go up here, click save, and then choose a name for your project like Lollipop tags. And you'll see here you cannot choose public. This is because you have uploaded an image, and so this is a way for Cricut to not have to worry about whether your image is in copyright violation or anything like that, like we talked about earlier. So you'll only be able to save that project for yourself. It won't be able to be made public. So now we're going to show you how to assemble the tags. And now I'm going to show you how to complete the tags. So what we're going to do here is I always find it easiest to flip the mat over and peel the mat away from the cardstock. This allows your paper to not get all curled up on the edges. And then we'll take off one of these, and you can see it's got the little hole inside. I will slide in my little ribbon I cut out into the tag, and then attach it to my little lollipop I got from Oriental Trading Company. So you'll see there's the little tag on the lollipop, and this was the original one I did with my with the Shopkins for the actual party. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments or email me at laurascraftylife@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Have a great week.